I don't have to do a game. Oh.
You get time.
This game recap. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that out loud?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tigers Minority Report, presented by FanDuel Sports. I am Rogelio, alongside me is Chris Brown, Uper, and Mike. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts on. Thanks for everyone who has donated to our GoFundMe for spring training. And if you can go ahead and please like and subscribe our YouTube channel, that'd be great. Our goal is to get 5,000 subscribers. I mean, as much as I would like to get to 10,000, just being realistic at the moment right now. But as a reminder, we do cover all things Tigers, and we're always looking for ways to increase our audience. And so that'd be nice. I mean, there's all these shows in town. Woodward Sports has a bunch of hey, why not us? So, but tonight on the agenda, as you saw Tarik Skubal just now on the video there, just stoked. I'm sure he is doing a bigger dance as he wins his case in Arizona. We'll talk about that. We didn't get a chance to talk about this yesterday because we're so shell-shocked by the signing of Framber Valdez, but the aftermath, the fans, there's just a lot of back and forth with that. But we'll get to the spring training roster. The World Baseball Classic rosters have been announced. There's some reefer BS that I want to get to, reefer madness, if you will, and more. So first and foremost, gentlemen, Chris drove through the streets of Houston in a thunderstorm at 65 miles an hour and survived because he can. That's what normal people do anyway, right?
Well, he wasn't a Georgia football player, so he's fine.
I wasn't going 1,000 miles an hour. No, you know what is funny is I actually heard somebody say like that they were up in Michigan recently and they were impressed with the way people were driving up there. I'm like, all right, okay. You don't normally hear that. You usually hear when you go somewhere else, like these people don't know how to drive. Apparently, Michiganders, they drive well. So, or Michigan.
We just drive fast. We're just leaving them behind in the dust. There's probably never anybody around them, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was when you were telling us before the show, it's just like, I don't know, people handle weather differently. But, so, yeah, it was the reason why I wanted to start things off, obviously the biggest win in arbitration history. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yep.
1 million.
Yeah, any number of precedents. So, yeah, the highest ever, but you've also got it shatters the highest raise ever, at least for a pitcher. It may be the highest raise ever. And it more than, it's $13 million more than any pitcher ever. So it's truly a precedent-setting arbitration decision. It's what that when they initially put that $32 million number out there, I was like, well, it's all about precedent. There's no way they're going to do this. But the arbitration panel decided that they were going to set a new precedent. And kudos to Boris for coming up. This is, he's done this sort of stuff before. This sort of provision in the agreement has been here forever, as far as I know. But I don't think anybody's ever tried to use it for whatever reason to compare themselves to when you have 5+ years, compare yourself to free agents if you have special accomplishments. So they really did a number on the teams, and I think it's going to be a big sticking point in the CBA now. I think some sort of arbitration reform is going to now be on the table from the owners, and anytime there's anything, it becomes an issue that you have to argue about.
Yeah, I think that was the point too. So I mean, you kind of said that anyway, but yeah, that was the whole point. It's kind of been explaining that to people at work for a while, like. They made a point when they chose that number. Like it was a very specific number. 1 million more than Juan Soto.
And it's also what cracks me up is that there was a lot of like, well, Framber is going to get paid more than Skubal. It's not how free agency arbitration works. There was some sort of really weird confusion about that, and it was kind of driving me nuts because I thought it was pretty clear on the distinctive difference between the two. I mean, I don't know, but and then you saw Aaron Gleeman from The Athletic basically say the Tigers' rotation's entire worth more than Minnesota Twins roster, and I understand where he's going with this because it's absolutely true. And Minnesota's selling everything they can, but the Tigers have put themselves in a position to target unless and they have a window. And guess what? I'm fine with it. I'm fine with them spending money and wanting to win. So for all these people out there that are trying to complain, nothing that makes anybody happy. Good grief. There's so many things that are like, it's not your money. It's not your money. Enough.
They're spending. They're the highest in the AL Central spending wise. First Sport Trek that I'm looking at right now, they're spending $49.2 million more than Kansas City, who's second place in the AL Central. Yeah, I know, like, you got to look at the whole MLB, but that's worth mentioning too, is that they're vastly outspending the rest of the AL Central.
It's interesting. Take the Tigers out of the equation for a second. I would never have thought Framber Valdez would get $38 million per year from anybody. That number really shocked me. And I do wonder if for years, occasionally would speculate, hey, why doesn't a team offer a lot of money per year for a shorter contract? And this is one where you can make the argument that that's what happened, really. I mean, they really pumped up how much money he's making in order for him to take a 3-year deal with an opt-out after year 2. So I think that's what makes it fair. But that number is just stunning. So for the people who, maybe don't get into the nuts and bolts of arbitration and free agency, it is interesting that he makes more money than a 2-time Cy Young winner. In some respects, it doesn't make sense, but we all know why it works that way. And in some respects, it's the way it's supposed to work and the way they've grown that system over the last few decades. And there are some big changes coming up. But $38 million is, man, it's going to feel good for him to sign that contract, I got to believe. That's way more than I ever thought he would have gotten.
Yeah, and we still don't know. I mean, he got a $20 million signing bonus, and some of the money is deferred. We don't know how much. I'm guessing it's enough to take the actual AAV down to 35 at least, if not down to 30.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right, and I think we might be able to look forward to the Tigers doing moves like this more often. I mean, one thing we've learned over the last few years is they kind of they're an opportunistic team.
Mm-hmm.
That the Jack Flaherty thing was an opportunity they felt like it was too good to pass up on. So we might get used to these sort of late in the free agency period shock signings with high dollar values and short length. Because I think you talked about last night, it's like any owner would like a deal like that. It's you're on the hook for 2-3 years tops. Like that's wonderful. I think all things being equal, I would rather have a 3-year deal than an 8-year deal, right? Like,
yeah,
even if it was less money. And they're going to have a lot of money coming off the books pretty soon, right? Like Torres and Flaherty next year, Skubal probably with $32 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then Baez the year after that. So they're going to have a pretty cheap core for the most part. So I think we might see a couple more big signings like this to supplement guys like McGonigal and Clark and Diggler and all these young core players, even though like Green is going to get more expensive. He's probably going to get pretty expensive. Carpenter and Torkelson are going to get more expensive. But I think this might be the start of things to come.
And you wonder with all that money coming off the payroll, are they going to look ahead too and try to get some of that young core locked up into Colt Keith-like deals?
Yeah,
I would imagine they would if the players are willing.
Yeah, because the Valdez is a player option, they have $8 million in total 2028 commitments right now.
And it's Colt Keith.
Yeah, and then $5 million in 29. So they have nothing past 27, and that's obviously if Framber takes his player option, that'll go up. But that withstanding 8 million, 28 is kind of nuts.
Yeah, I mean that's smart thinking. And I'm sure right now the Pirates ownership is like, really, damn it, now we're gonna have to trade him to the Yankees, which is gonna probably happen. It just seems like the Pirates and Yankees make deals like that. I mean, I'm half joking, of course, because I feel like the Pirates are the Yankees' AAA affiliate sometimes. And I'll give credit where credit's due. Pittsburgh has been trying to do something, but imagine Paul Skeens going, thanks, awesome. Yeah. And then somewhere Bob Nutting is losing a nut, literally nutting, because he's just like, bro, what the hell? Now I got to pay this guy?
I mean, yeah, that was like to what you were talking about earlier. It was annoying to hear people in seasoned baseball reporters talk about like, oh, the Tigers are going to pay Valdez twice as much as they were offering Skubal, and that's sort of disrespectful. And it's like, why are you doing this? It's the system. It's not like
where's the player hate the game?
Where's the article about Mitch Keller making 16 times what Paul Skeens makes?
Yeah. Oh, wait, there's nothing about that. Yeah, it's right. And I saw Ken Rosenthal wrote at The Athletic about that, like just how the Tigers, this is their own doing. And it's
picked a fight. He said they picked a fight with Tarik Skubal. Listen, hey, wait a minute. My son just donated 99 cents.
That's your son? Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. You know what, though? Does he get you want to wait? Sure. What drop does he get? Frickers building? Which one do you want?
Yeah, get him off the Frickers building.
Off the Frickers building.
He's trying to go to Florida with you.
Yeah, I think he might be. I think he's trying to get a cell phone.
He deserves it.
But what was I saying?
What Ken Rosenthal was saying about.
He picked a fight. This is. I guarantee you that dollar value that they chose came from the MLB Labor Relations Department or whatever. I guarantee it. This is something where the owners. We keep talking about. This is just a microcosm. It's a proxy war of the CBA negotiations to come, and they put that number out there because the owners didn't want them to put anything more out there. And it's like a game to front offices. They used to hand out the belt to teams who got the best arbitration deals. Like at the general managers meetings, they handed out a belt, like a WWE style belt for people who had the least amount of money spent in arbitration. So it's a game to them. They want to keep spending low, and Skubal and Boris have kind of blown that open, and it's going to be a big, like I said, it's going to be a big discussion point now.
You're muted, Raj.
Sorry, my headphones. I'm having my board. This board, I got to get a new board at some point. Did I hear that right? You said that they got a wrestling belt.
Yeah, they used to hand out a belt to the front office that did the best in arbitration. Got their players for the least amount of money.
Love it.
What the unnecessary. I like that. And Walter, thank you. Walter is complimenting my facial hair. Paying him, they're saying the disrespect by paying him less. No, the thing is that Ken Rosenthal has been on his high horses of late. If he's not staring down a cameraman or anything like that, and I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to provoke thought and everything, but I think he's also going to bat for baseball.
Well, and generally speaking, and maybe this is just sort of a small market mentality, but it always feels like the national writers want the best players on the biggest teams. They want Skubal on the Dodgers, or the Yankees, the Mets, or the Cubs, or somebody like that. That's just the way they want. And so they're gonna make any other club seem like they're penny ante podunk, not up to the game. Whatever. Again, maybe that's just me having small town biases, but I think that's what they want. You always see him like, oh, he'd be a great fit for the Red Sox. He's also a great fit for the Tigers right now.
No, I mean, if you watch, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, right. Go ahead.
No, if you watch old episodes of, by the way, thank you, Sean, for the $5. I appreciate it. Let me do that.
Exquisite.
I haven't done Exquisite in a while. If you watch old episodes of This Week in Baseball, because thanks to Robert James, who it was like here's a whole list of this week in baseball. Always Boston, New York, Dodgers, same 3-4 teams mentioned all the time. And occasionally you'll get the hot story when Cleveland or the Tigers were doing well at whatever period of time this was.
Yeah.
And so I try not to have the chip on our shoulder, the Troy versus everybody thing, but when you have entity like fan sites that get Angel invested for millions of dollars because of their rooting interest for a New York team. I mean, look, Midwesterners have that Midwest politeness thing to them. Where does that myth come from? Because as far as I know a lot of assholes. So like, I don't understand like this Midwest politeness and you guys are Rust Belt and blah, blah, blah. And your pizza's not as good as my pizza. Who gives a shit? Who cares?
Right, what about pizza? What?
You know how like people like like New York pizza is the best, or the California burritos or whatever food bias of the area is. Yeah. There's always some weird thing about that.
I found that people in Minnesota are generally pretty nice. In Wisconsin, but
Wisconsin, they just
nice.
They're drunk. I mean,
Well, I think
so they're nice for like the first 2/3, and then the final third they're very violent and angry.
Possibly, yeah.
They'll be so highbrow, Mike. About don't stereotype Wisconsin.
My 18 years in Iowa was really great. Folks in Iowa were fantastic. I'll say that till the day I die.
Well, Roger, you went out to a Michigan game at Iowa, right? What was the fan experience out there from an outsider?
They were pretty cool. I mean, it was funny because I had more hostility from the Ohio State fan that was sitting in our area than the Iowa fans.
This we know. Ohio people are not the finest.
Mad at life.
Yeah,
we have some friends from Ohio.
Yeah,
but whatever.
Yeah, Cleveland.
I like Cleveland a lot. And
I do.
Anything outside of the city limits of Cleveland, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, they have a nice mall and they're nice area. Cleveland's cool. I like Cleveland. They have some really good pizza spots.
Toledo is a great part of Michigan.
Yeah, Toledo's great. I love the cigar bars in Toledo, Ohio, and Cleveland too. But like, here's the thing too, like about Iowa. The answer your question completely, Chris. I rode a train called the Hawkeye Express. So it's a train you take in from downtown or where I was from the hotel to the stadium, and it was cool. It's a big silver train with the Hawkeye paint on the side, and it's a really good different experience than what you're used to. Like, for example, when you go to a Michigan game, you just walk up from the golf course or wherever you're parked, but you have this big train that you walk. I don't know, it's cool. So I don't know. I really liked my whole experience there. Drive through Iowa, it was mind-blowingly boring. I'm sorry, Uper. That's just
wrong part of the state. Yeah.
Yeah.
Northwest and Northeast Iowa was a little nicer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Cleveland isn't that bad. The worst they did was change their name.
The Guardians.
Yeah, the Guardians. Yeah.
Yeah, and as nice as Toledo may be, I still think we got far better into the deal with the UP. I think the copper mines were probably more than enough there.
No question about it.
Yeah.
But
get back to baseball a little bit too. Let's go. Let's kind of walk into the spring training, and I do like Adam's question because it's a segue right into spring training roster. I'm looking at so many new pitchers on my spring training roster, and maybe one bullpen spot left. So yeah, you know what? Let's look at the roster, shall we? Because I have the roster pulled up over here, and I look at it this way. There is a lot of fodder on this. Like honestly, I hate saying fodder, but there's a lot of decisions the Tigers do have to make, and I think also the roster's a little more. I think the roster is more wide open than we think with this, and so the reason why I say that is because we don't know how healthy everybody is coming into things. We heard like somebody was mentioning yesterday about we're not really sure how healthy, I guess, Reese Olson's going to be. So there's not. I mean, we can't put any conclusions on everything, but looking at some of these names that are going to end up going to Toledo, the non-roster invites, there's a lot of guys who are by all the true definitions of 4A guys. So you have a couple names very familiar with Tyler Owens, who re-signed with the Tigers. He was on the 40-man last year. Brian Sammons, who was in Japan, I believe, or was he in Korea last year?
I think he was in Korea,
yeah, Korea. So you have Ricky Velasco, who's back in there. Troy Watson's got another opportunity. Jake Miller's coming back from being healthy. He's on the 40-man, but he's going to be, how he's going to factor in everything. But then you have like Scott Efros and Dugan Darnell and Phil
Bickford, yeah.
So a bunch of these names are just, I think a lot of them. I think if you look at the grand, where's Ty Mann going to be at? Well, he's still recovering. We haven't seen him pitch in almost a year and a half now.
Yeah, since last spring.
Yeah.
He pitched a little bit very early in last spring and then was gone for the rest of the year. We talked a little bit about this, and certainly on the other podcast, the minor league podcast, that they had a lot of turnover at AA and AAA after the year. A lot of guys who had been in the system for a while left, and some of them came back. But there are a lot of spots to fill, and we see this every year where they bring in a whole bunch of veterans, guys who have had plenty of innings at the AA, AAA, and even a major league level. And some of them look interesting and good in spring. Some of them are gone in spring, and usually a handful of them are down in Toledo until June 1st. And some of them have those sort of clauses where they can, if they aren't called up to the big leagues by then they can just go to another team, and that'll happen. But I don't. I shouldn't say this. There's probably somebody from that group who's going to surprise us and may even win a spot in the bullpen. But who it is, I couldn't tell you right now, right? Like somebody's going to come out there looking surprisingly good, and then we'll figure it out. But that's just the nature of relievers, right? Like they're so volatile that you never know from one year to the next.
Kenny, you talk about Adam's talking about Kenny.
He said, "Where's the knuckleball Whitecaps guy? I want to see him this spring." He spent most of, if not all of the year in Erie.
Yeah, pretty much, and he was throwing again in the off season down in Oklahoma.
How does he pronounce that? Surwa?
Surwa. Yeah. Kenny Surwa. Here's my really super early hot take on a guy that might come out firing. I think it's going to be a guy like Troy Watson. I think Troy Watson is a guy to look out for. I really think he might come out and earn a bullpen spot or take somebody's spot. That's my prediction.
Anything's possible. He's not on the 40-man, right? But
correct, yeah.
But they'll find room. And what we'll find out as soon as they get to spring training is that somebody is got hurt in the offseason and we hadn't heard about it, or somebody had surgery in the offseason that we hadn't heard about, and they're recovering for longer than we think. And there'll be a couple more guys on the injured list than we realize, just the way it goes. So, who knows? Some of these guys might just get up on the 40-man because they can.
Well, you look at the bullpen, what do you got? You got Kenley Jansen, Will Vest, Holton, and Finnegan, right? Those four, pretty much those four, unless something goes really off the rails, they'll be there. So now you got four more spots. I would say like somebody like Hannafy is, he's kind of that guy who's going to walk the tightrope. Can he beat out anybody who's challenging him?
Well, I mean, they gave Drew Anderson $7 million, so I think he's kind of a lock for the bullpen, probably, unless he wins the starting job. So he'll be in there. Yeah, Hannafy. I think Herter probably has a role, but again, they brought in some other guys that could potentially challenge him there. In Manuel De Jesus. So we'll see. But that's six right there, right? If we include Herter and Anderson, Do they put Melton in the bullpen? I don't think. I think they'd rather have him starting in Toledo, as annoying as that may be for some people, just to be able to bring him up, kind of the way they did with Montero the last couple of years, like because you're going to need a starter at some point, and you can do a lot worse than Troy Melton coming up.
I'm really curious what's going to happen with Bo Brisky. I think that he's probably really on his last legs on the roster. I don't really. It just feels like they fall out of favor with guys sometimes, the front office. And I know he was injured, but I just feel like his time might be done this year, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, see, I don't know. To me, he's like the Matt Vierling of the pitching staff. Like this was a guy they were absolutely counting on in 2024. He was getting huge outs down the stretch in 2024. He came in and saved the day. And was it Game 2 in Houston, or was that Game 1 when Job came in? So I mean, I think they still like him. But to Mike's point, like sometimes you just get passed. Like we saw that happen to Matt Manning a couple years ago. He just got passed by Reese Olson. And Casey Mize in that case. So they don't, I'm sure they have guys they like and they want to keep them around, but they're not afraid to. They're not afraid to, make tough choices if guys earn it or guys earn their way off the roster.
By the way, I do like Mike Doyle's idea. He said this earlier, getting Hayes from Cincinnati, who they traded from Pittsburgh last year. That would be ideal. I just think that they're going to go with Colt Keith to start the year at third base for now. I still think that because they still have to figure out exactly what they're going to have with Hyu Lee. Is he going to be the guy that comes? I think Hyu Lee might have a chance to be a bench bat or Trey Cruz. There's a lot of infield intrigue here that is more geared towards 2027 at this point because we know Torres is going to get a spot out of spring training. He is going to be here for the year. Now it's just posturing or. Yeah, basically posturing for a spot for next year in some cases, I think. And so, but yeah, Hayes' bat is colder than Antarctica for 9. Yeah, Sean makes a good point here. His bat is inconsistent, although I know he started hitting better. He was working on some swing changes, but I think Tigers are going to try to stick with the internal option. What happened? You good, Mike?
No idea what happened. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all good. But yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Oh, nothing. Yeah, I was, Brian Hayes, we've talked about this before, and our buddy Jerry thinks that there's something there. They could fix him. He is an elite defender, probably the best defensive third baseman in baseball. And, you have Framber Valdez with a 60% ground ball rate that could probably help. But
has any pitcher ever had a personal third baseman?
Yeah, I saw somebody joking that they should have Hayes play third and then DH for him and just have the pitcher hit. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I really do think that they want to give Colt Keith some runway, like you said, Raj. Like it would be nice for him to just have a year where he's playing one position and he can work on, getting better at third base and work on getting the ball, hitting the ball a little bit harder. He does everything pretty well. He just needs to get his bat speed up like 2 miles an hour, which is something you can do through training.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Like I think he's got the chance to be a well above average, like a 120 WRC plus down the road if his his trends continue. He raised his walk rate like 4 or 5%. His ISO was up like 35 points last year. You keep doing that, he's going to be a good player, and I think he's a guy that you would like to have as part of your core.
All right.
Is
that you, Uper?
That was me.
Okay. So, by the way, Matthew's sending over treats on our Twitter. Matthew's in our chat, and he was talking about he was making a French dessert. I do want to talk about. I'm going to let you segue into John Peck and Bam Algeria. I'll be right back, gentlemen. I have to jump on another show real quick. Call the bullpen. So, but I want to revisit this when I get back.
Call the pen. Yeah, so those were kind of, I don't know if you want to say a surprise, like the surprise names on the roster invitees. You always need a ton of people at spring training anyway, right? And we saw Algeria a bunch last year, especially early on, and he had a couple home runs. And people were like, hey, is this happening? And it didn't really, but they clearly like him as a guy in the system, and it's kind of a reward for him, right? Like he's been a good player. And it's kind of a slow burn with him. Like he might be on that Trey Cruz trajectory where it's like you kind of lose track of him because he's 26 now and he's a AA and may be AA for the third year. But there's stuff to like there. He can play all three outfield positions. He's got a good arm. He's got some pop. He's got some speed. It's nothing crazy. I don't know if he has a carrying tool, but nice guy to have in the system. And then John Peck.
That's the guy I'm interested in. Tell me about him.
So Peck he's kind of an infield version of Algeria, if that makes sense. He hits the ball very hard, a little too much on the ground, a little too much to the opposite field. But he's an above-average runner. He's an above-average defender. He's a legitimate shortstop. He has enough arm to play third or second. And he makes a lot of contact. He swings a lot. He doesn't chase a ton, though. It's one of those cases where he'll swing through good breaking balls in the zone, which kind of makes you wonder if he could ever be an everyday regular.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got everything else that you want, aside from maybe being a switch hitter. Right? He's a right-handed hitter, but everything else suggests he could be a pretty useful utility guy down the road. Like, I kind of want to compare him to Ryan Kreidler, if you will. Like, you hope that he can hit better than Kreidler, right? But
sure,
just that level of like athlete and defender, where you could probably put him anywhere and he'd do a good job.
He's not a small guy, is he?
I think he's like 6'1". He's not a big guy. Like Kreidler was like 6'4", I think.
Yeah,
so maybe
exactly.
That's not a great. But yeah, he's not a small guy, but he's not. He's like baseball player sized. How about that?
I'm with you there.
I mean, in terms of like position players, who in this like list is there really like a guy that sticks out that's like in danger of not getting a roster spot at the end of the bench or something?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm still a little bit skeptical that Jahmai Jones is this absolute left-handed pitching assassin that we saw last year.
That's where I was going. Yep.
But it's possible that he could go 0 for 40 in spring training and still have that job, because it's like the last job on the bench. And I could see somebody like Hao Yu Lee maybe taking it from him, but it seems unlikely.
Because it just seems like they need Trey Sweeney, because that's the only really other person I'm looking at through here. It's just not very intriguing just looking at it and like, man, really, a guy's really going to have to have a crazy spring to make a dent and really consider it,
Well, yeah, I mean, Jace Young is still around. We talked about him. Like, does he have a role? Can he win a job? Is he going to be in a real competition for third base reps? I don't know. I'm skeptical about that, but like, we've seen things like this happen before, where a guy shows up and he's made some changes and has a great spring and he comes north. And who knows, maybe there'll be another injury and you need Jace Young at third base.
And then most of those stories by late April have faded away to oblivion.
Usually, yeah. Sometimes they last until the All-Star break, the Matt Tuiasosopo's of the world.
That's true.
But, I'm looking. But yeah, it's a fun chance to see, all the guys they added to the 40-man. We're going to get Eduardo Valencia, who I don't think anybody was really thinking about at all this time last year. We'll get Cruz. We'll get maybe I don't know if Jake Miller is going to be healthy, but if he is, we'll see him some more.
What's really interesting about the whole thing is just in this little bit of time while we're just blowing through some names, we mentioned a lot of guys, and none of them are outlandish ideas that if they got hot, they could get a job. Think back, half a dozen years. How short is this conversation? Of guys that could make a ball club and should. And things have really changed.
Yeah. No, this is. You started noticing this in the last couple of years when players, the Tigers, leave unprotected, get claimed in the Rule 5, or guys they bump off the 40-man roster get picked up, or you have to make trades for, Alex Fido and Mason Englert and all these things. So yeah, I mean the overall talent level has been raised quite a bit, I think. And so yeah, it's about people going out there and performing and winning jobs. And to Mike's point, I don't see a whole lot of roster spots that are necessarily in danger, but I do think like Young and Sweeney, and this time last year it was like, can Malloy find a spot? And eventually he couldn't, and they had to move on. I don't know.
Jace Young hit better toward the end, correct? I mean,
he did. He had he made a swing change, and it was pretty rough immediately after that, but then he picked it up and was pretty good down the stretch. They brought him up when Keith got hurt, and he got all of, I think, 2 plate appearances over the final 2 weeks. It was like it was very much like, okay, this is in case of emergency, Jace Young. So I don't really know how they feel about him. But again, this is spring's your chance to go out there and win a job.
And the way that team was hitting in September, it's amazing. They didn't think, hey, let's just throw him in there and see what happens.
Yeah. That was well, we don't have to think about that stretch much anymore because we got new stretches coming.
That's true.
Hopefully not as that bad, but yeah. I don't. And I think a good point for people to remember, and I heard AJ Hinch mention this, and we've heard Scott Harris mention it too, and it's they kind of mention it in the context of like, hey guys, the quote that like the faces will be the same, but the team won't be, But I do think it's true a little bit when you think about this time last year when we didn't know that it was going to be like a Gold Glove level, possibly the most valuable player on the team outside of Skubal,
right?
And Torkelson, was basically ready to move on from Torkelson at this time last year. So a lot of things can happen, and they always do, and we just kind of forget about them. I think they get memory hold a little bit.
I mean, yeah, that was especially apparent this year with Riley Green. Not trying to look back at it too much, but I just feel like people forgot that Riley Green isn't a finished product. And just because he had one season the way that he played last year doesn't mean that this is just who he is now. So you do need to look for the way that the Tigers are building is the built-in expectations that these guys will develop. That's the only way it's going to work. So, I mean, I think we know that. Just sometimes it's hard to really accept that when, I'm a fan still. So like, I want them to be better, and like in my head, the very easy, obvious way to do that is to get a good hitter, like it seems so simple, but it's, there's a reason why I'm talking about it on a microphone and I'm not a GM in baseball, like it's a huge difference. So,
Deadly Ninja Beast brings up McKinstry, right? He kind of gets in that. Just think back 2 years ago when Mike just asked that question, who could be in danger of losing a spot? I mean, that's McKinstry all day long. He'd be one of the first guys you talk about. But he has improved, and he's gotten better. He's gotten more useful. And there's no reason why a guy who I think, in my opinion, is probably more physically talented than Colt Keith can't make that kind of step up, and really be a big plus to the offense and be that hitter they need at third base.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see that because, like, I think, I'm skeptical that he can repeat what he did last year, but it's mostly because he's, 30, 31, mm-hmm. And, like, that was his first really good year. But it was a good year, and he's got talent. He's always had talent to be a useful player. But basically, like, you look at what Seattle gave up to get Brendan Donovan, who was essentially Zach McKinstry if McKinstry played like last year every year. Like, he's the same player, except he's much more consistent. So there is certainly value in that sort of player. It's just like, yeah, you come into this year going, I'm not expecting that to happen again. If he does it again, well, maybe that's who Zach McKinstry is. And that, again, very useful, very helpful, one of the best utility men in baseball. He won a Silver Slugger?
Yeah.
Gold Glove. He won a Silver Slugger?
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny, it does anger fans, I think, to hear that, like, hey, we're counting on McKinstry this year because they have it in their mind that he's not that level of player.
Yeah, he won the utility position Silver Slugger.
Probably earned it. Yeah,
I didn't even remember. Wow.
Yeah, he beat out Greg Bird and who else it was.
I don't know. You're right, though. 2 years ago, I remember, actually, even going into 2025, I think people were upset that Zach McKinstry made the roster. So,
yeah, no, think of how people thought about Trey Sweeney down the stretch in 2024 and how people think about him now. People can't wait to get rid of him off the roster. It's like, you can fall out of favor pretty quickly. You just got to go out there and prove it. But generally speaking, this is a very talented team. There's a lot of talent. Can they translate that talent into on-field production consistently? That's the next step to make this, this is a back-to-back playoff team, but can they be a playoff team for the next 3, 4, 5 years? Obviously, probably losing Skubal is going to hurt a little bit, but Framber Valdez is not a bad semi replacement. You can't replace Skubal, but you can stay competitive with a guy like Valdez.
What if you had to guess or give us your list, the three things that really need to go right for this to be a top 10 offense? Which three guys need to really find the groove that maybe they didn't always have, or take that next step from being good to great?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think. I mean, the three most obvious things is you want your three big sluggers to continue to do what they can do. So you want Green to have last year, but with more walks and fewer strikeouts, right? You want Carpenter to stay healthy and maybe get more opportunities against left-handed pitching. And you want Torkelson to maybe had that 30, 35 home run season with a little bit higher average in walk rate. Like, these things aren't crazy asks. That, I think, is the biggest thing. But if you want, I'm going to just give you everything. Like, if you want that offense that doesn't go through these crazy ups and downs, it would also help to have steps forward from Keith and a healthy Parker Meadows doing what he might be able to do. And Dingler repeating what he did last year. And suddenly, I mean, that's six guys who are all good offensive contributors. Mm-hmm. That's a great start.
I like what you said about Dingler. I was going to say the exact same thing. He doesn't even need to take really a step up. He just needs to do the same thing.
Yeah.
That would be pretty amazing.
And I didn't even mention Gleyber Torres.
Sure. So. And what I liked about what you said about Carpenter and Riley Green is you made 2 points for each one. Both of them, for us as fans watching from afar, are very measurable. Right? I mean, strikeout rate and walk rate for Green, we'll be able to really see that. And then, obviously, with Carpenter, can you just stay on the damn field? So, those are the guys. It really comes down to the core sluggers. If they're going to really propel themselves to a top 10 offense, I think that's really where we start.
I need Colt Keith to not be Jekyll and Hyde in random months throughout the season. Like, I think that's the next step I'm looking for in his development. Is he going to come out and be the worst qualified hitter in baseball for the first month of the season? And we're going to have to wait till August until we're like, wow, he's actually having a sneaky good season. Because I'm tired of that. I'm already tired of that with Colt Keith. I'm good. I want to see him start off strong. I think Chris brought up the best point, though, with Carpenter just being healthy. You get a fully healthy Carpenter for the whole year. I think that's going to definitely up the offense. And then, I mean, I'm pretty much just repeating what you guys said because it's Gleyber Torres for me because he's another guy that just had two completely different seasons. He had his all-star like season first half, and then obviously with the injury that he talked about, he was not good in the second half. So I'm looking for a fast start if I had to boil it down to one thing. I don't want to wait to see Colt Keith and I want to be confident in Gleyber Torres early in the season, not a month in and being like, oh, is this injury still lingering?
Yeah, I mean, I think along the lines of Keith being kind of streaky, I've always thought that the hardest thing in baseball is to be consistently good, right? Like everybody gets kind of streaky. You remember Justin Upton was the king of that, right? Like, just be the best hitter on the planet for a full month. And that was what was so remarkable about Miguel Cabrera in his prime, right? Like, just every game, every week. How many slumps did he go through from 2009 to 2015? Like, one.
Yeah, right.
But what you see when guys get older, and I think it also happens when guys are coming up, is suddenly Cabrera's cold streak went from 3 games to 5 games, and then from 5 games to 7 games, and 7 to 10, and then he did a home run for 25 games or something like that as he got older and worse. And I think it goes the other way with young hitters, where it's Colt Keith has these awful starts, and he has a hot month, and then you just, I think, get better at making adjustments the more experience you get. And so you have to hope that he can do that. You don't know until he does it. But I think the raw tools are there for him to do that. But, who knows? Got to go out and do it.
Well, I mean, his first year, his rookie year, he was like super hot, cold. It was like terrible month, incredible month, terrible. Last year, he didn't really do that too much. And I think that's that's visible progression to me. You know, like he didn't slump completely for 30 days and then do great for 30 days. You know, he was able to consistently kind of do it in the middle of the season until he got injured at the end of the year. So, yeah, if he can, you know, take, like, that's obviously you always want your players to take the next step, but I think that's where I'm hoping to see it with him this year.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking. So, I mean, you look at, he had a 76 WRC plus in March and April, which is not great.
Oh, okay.
Not as bad as we thought. I think he probably got a little hot at the end.
Yeah.
And then May it was 129, June 113, July 117, August 125, and then September and October 81. So it really was the beginning and end, and then pretty darn good in the middle.
Yep.
So yeah, to your point, like maybe this is just going to be the process with him. Hopefully, it's an every year thing. But
yeah, right.
I think the talent's there. Get him to be a passable third baseman. Like he doesn't need to even be average, just not well below average, and you know, do some offensive things. But I don't know. See,
so let's think back to Colt Keith's rookie year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they have Kevin McGonigal. Chris, you've probably seen the two in the minors more than anybody. At least certainly anybody sitting here. If you give Kevin McGonigal 500 plate appearances this year, how much better is he than what we saw from Colt Keith in his rookie year? What level can he take it to that Colt Keith didn't?
So I'm looking. Colt Keith had I want to see his rookie year. He was what, like a 95 WRC plus?
Mm-hmm.
95. Yeah, I think with McGonigal, for as talented as McGonigal is, I think probably no better than a 110 WRC plus, which would be amazing for a rookie.
Yeah.
But yeah, 15% better than Colt Keith. Like it's just the nature of the business, right? Like McGonigal has incredible ability and incredible tools, and he can hit some of the best pitching you'll ever see. But then you start seeing it every game, and it's not as easy, right? These guys, they'll find like, and we saw it a little bit at AA. They started throwing him breaking balls in the outside corner, and he would roll over and hit ground balls to second base or first base. It happened fairly frequently. Now, if they made a mistake, he'd crush it. Or if they tried to throw other pitches, and you know, the higher up you go, the more pitchers can execute to your weaknesses. And so, can he close those holes? I'm pretty confident he can, but it's going to take a little time, even for somebody that good.
It's almost like the buzz is so high, and we know when you're ranked second overall by major sources, right? Baseball America and so on. I mean, people should get excited. He's a massive talent coming through the system, but you can just already see it. If that dude's hitting 258, people are going to be like, "What the hell happened?" You can see it.
I thought it was really telling that, like, we all were pretty much in total agreement that, I mean, just based on what it sounds like, we don't think that he's got a real chance to make the roster out of spring training. Like, we didn't even discuss it. It was just the way we talked about it. Like, he's not taking a spot from anybody. It's what it kind of seems like. We didn't even bring him up in earlier, you know?
Yeah, like, you know, I think there is a possibility that if he goes absolutely bonkers and is doing the things they need him to do, and he looks like a legitimate shortstop, that he does come north with a team. But I don't view that as, you know, extremely likely. I think he'll probably have a very good camp and look good, but I don't know if he's going to go out there and like be clearly the best option at shortstop.
But you do think he's got a shot, though?
Yeah, I do. I think if he's the best option, if he's the clear best option, I think AJ Hinch would push for him to come north with the team. But you know, again, it's a big difference. It's a big jump from 40 games in AA to the big leagues. Like, you know, he's not Javi Baez with the glove, so he needs to be super sure-handed. And I don't know. I mean, there's also a chance maybe he wins the third base job. I don't know. But
that's fair. I just thought it was interesting. Like, we had talked pretty much the whole show until this Colt Keith thing, until you really brought it up. We hadn't mentioned McGonigal or Max Clark or, you know, the big guys, the big prospects at all. So just kind of interesting how, I mean, the way the roster looks, and that's kind of how we're looking at things right now. I mean, you know more me about this for sure, but I think that you nailed it when you said he's got 40 games at AA. So that doesn't bode well just based on what we've seen the team do. But I don't think that you can ignore like a crazy good spring training. So
if and crazy things happen in spring training, he could hit 420 and hit 7 dingers.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? I mean, you can send that to the minors.
It was pretty awesome seeing him hit a home run off Aaron Nola last year. As a 20-year-old, you're like, oh, that's fun. So yeah, like we've seen guys win jobs in spring. Nico Goodrum, I mentioned him earlier. He won a job in spring training. Akil Baddoo.
Yeah.
We saw what he became. So maybe that's not the best example, but like you can win a job, and that team was not nearly as good. But and I think that's ultimately what it is that were this the 2021 Tigers? McGonigal's coming north.
Yeah.
2026 Tigers, I don't think so, but we'll see.
And there's the whole service time thing. People hate it, and people don't even like when you bring it up. But I mean, it is a legit thing. I mean, they keep them in the minors for 2 weeks. They buy that extra year. I mean, depending what happens with the new CBA too. But
yeah. So I see. I don't know if we want to get into these other topics at all. I see on the World Baseball Classic rosters, the reefer BS.
Yeah, Roger and I were talking about it. So I come in here. Roger doesn't know that I'm in the room, like, in the pre-studio lobby before we're getting started. And he's like giggling to himself. And I'm just like, hey, Roger. And he's just giggling. He's like, oh, let me show you. And I unfortunately can't pull it up. Maybe I can. He has an Alan Cumming musical version of Reefer Madness going, because if people didn't hear, so Javi Baez, it cannot compete in the World Baseball Classic this year. And it stems from a THC positive test in 2023. So he had a test done in March of 23. He played in the World Baseball Classic in 23. He fails the test. They don't start his suspension until April of 24, specifically so he could not play in the 26 World Baseball Classic. So they pushed it 13 months to start the punishment. So essentially he would miss this one.
Beyond silly.
There's been so much discussion for the WBC this time around about players who can't get insured and stuff like that. And I don't remember that being such a big topic 3 years ago.
No.
But apparently, like, Cabrera did not get insurance the last time. But he still played. Like, I guess you could do it, but yeah, it's unfortunate. This is supposed to be a showcase. It's supposed to be a fun showcase of baseball talent from around the world, and you've got all these important players who can't play because of smoking weed or can't get insurance. And then meanwhile, you got Cuba is sending out 44-year-old Alexi Ramirez because they don't have anybody else. It's a bummer.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to catch you up. I was just telling him how I came into the room before the show and you were cackling at the Reefer Madness because we were talking about the Javi Baez thing.
That is so weird. And you know what, by the way, Cuba-wise, speaking of which, they suffered the coldest day in Cuban history, 32 degrees. Which doesn't sound like which sounds like a warm-up for us over here in the Midwest. But 32 degrees in Cuba, you're not equipped for it.
Oh.
Yeah, that sucks. So
that would be a crisis for those folks, no question.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, for anybody out there that doesn't understand that 32 degrees for a Cuban is like basically what 10 below or 20 below here for anybody in the Midwest. I don't know. That's yeah. And really, Alexis Ramirez is playing for Team Cuba. Wow.
Yeah, see, Ramirez is playing for Team Cuba.
Who's next? Is Jose Contreras on that roster?
Might be.
Tony Oliva.
Might as well bust out Tony Perez there. I mean, he was, he represented the team. I mean, come on. I'm
looking at these rosters, just going through, checking for former and current Tigers. I think I mentioned that. I see Australia. They've got old friends Ulrich Bojarski, Jack O'Loughlin, and Warwick Sopold all on the Australian team, so that's fun.
Oh.
And Canada is just swimming with former Tigers. Micah Ashman, Philippe Aumont, was briefly in the Toledo. Jordan Balazovic. I'm looking. Who else? Liam Hicks.
Ooh, there you
I
go.
know Liam Hicks was Canadian. I don't
Neither
know.
did I. Jacob Robson.
Jacob
So
Robson's still Jacob Robson's still playing. Wow.
he's playing for Team Canada.
So sometimes if their mom was born in Canada, they can play, right? Even if they never lived there.
Bo Bichette Jr. is playing for Brazil.
Let's see here. His license plate is Ashman. Murder Rows of Bums there. That's the 4A bats in Canada. Team Canada, I'm surprised they're not. I know Canada baseball wise is getting better, but I'm surprised there's not better talent coming out of that country.
The Nailers are Canadian.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about John Taylor right now.
Hao Lee is on Chinese Taipei, which of course is Taiwan.
Yeah.
But
can't say that.
So yeah, that's interesting. Along with one of my favorite names of in baseball history, Tungkwan Giljesuljaw.
I was just trying to read that name while you were Giljesuljaw. It's kind of awesome.
That's right up there with Sicknarf Loopstock.
Gesundheit. That's a name. Like I'm looking at some of these names, and I'm like, I'm not gonna try to. I've already butchered enough names as it stands. Say that fast 3 times, please. The chat asks you to say that 3 times.
Austin Bergner on the Colombian team, along with Julio Teran.
Julio Teran's still pitching. Well, I mean,
Gio Urshela.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But Austin Bergner, who, by the way, shout out to Austin Bergner, the all-time winningest pitcher in Erie history, is now in Texas. He'll be pitching for AA Frisco, I believe.
Austin, middle name Rock, named after, is it Stone? It's Stone Bergner because his dad was a huge wrestling fan. So he's named after Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That is awesome.
How about Duke Hebert?
Duque Hebert, yeah, from Nicaragua?
Yeah. Is he on the roster?
I believe so, yeah. Or no, did they not let him? I'm trying to remember if they didn't let him. They didn't let him last time or last year for something. I'm looking. I don't see any Tigers here on Cuba. Ooh, the Czech Republic.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know Italy has several. Italy's got some. I got some decent guys on there.
Hey, wait a minute. The Czech Republic has Martin Cervinka and Martin Cervinka. One of them CERVENKA, and the other one CERVINKA. They're both 6'4".
All right. Yeah, Italy's not bad. They got Pascantino, Kyle Teal, Ottavino, Caglione, whatever. Oh my God, I'm butchering names now. I don't know. Italy's got a decent team.
Andrew Graham, by the way, is going to be the third base coach for Team Australia, so it continues that Tiger flavor. Great Britain, by the way, has former Tiger farmhand Chavez Fernander.
Oh, wow.
And then my favorite British sounding name, which is perfect, but he was born in the United States, Gary Gill Hill.
Yeah,
that's a name there. And trying to think of what's funny is Harry Ford, who I think was a Seattle prospect.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing for the UK, and so is Trace Thompson.
Who do they traded him somewhere, right? Was it the Marlins?
I believe.
Wait a minute! Look at that dog. Where'd that dog come from?
This is the bird.
That's a good
bird.
Sorry.
Oh, she's hearing her. She's jealous.
Harry Ford got traded to Washington, Chris.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's where he ended up at. Oh, Jazz Chisholm is on Great Britain.
Yeah.
Right. Hopefully they have better jerseys this time around. Remember the jerseys from last time?
With the press-on patches, iron-ons.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was bad.
Tommy Canley on Team Italy or Team Israel.
Oh, Elvis
Elvis
Alvarado, former Tiger farmhand on Dominican Republic. I want to know how Austin Wells got on the Dominican Republic team.
Again, probably has some familial relation. Not sure how close it has to be, but we got any Mexicans? What do we got here? Sorry, this is probably
We're just
Jose Urquidy.
Oh, there we go. All right, I think this is where we should start.
We're all just scrolling the World Baseball Classic rosters.
Yeah, all right, we should wrap it up. I don't think anybody will be entertained for that part, but so whatever by the way, I don't know whatever there's any FanDuel odds on who's going to win this thing yet, or
the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah.
I mean, it usually comes down to the DR, the United States, and Japan, right? Like maybe Venezuela has an outside shot. I think Montero's on Venezuela, right?
So these are the early first Fox Sports. USA's plus 100, Japan plus 350, Dominican Republic plus 370, and then a huge jump: Puerto Rico plus 1,200, Venezuela plus 1,500, Mexico 2,200.
Venezuela's never done as well as I always think. Maybe they will. It always seems like they would have done better than they have.
Fifth best odds, but plus 1,400 worse than USA. So kind of far back there.
Yeah, Venezuela, they got a pretty good team. Ranger Suarez, Eduardo Rodriguez, Keider Montero, Valencia as a closer, Jose Alvarado, Sal Perez, William Contreras, a catcher. I don't know. They should, but I agree with you. They never seem to quite stack up. I don't know if it's the
never
lack
comes together.
But and Puerto Rico is kind of surprising because I thought they lost out on Javi Baez for one, but also Lindor, right? And Carlos Correa. I think none of them could play.
Right.
Another team that always surprises me that doesn't do better is Team Mexico, because Mexico's got some pretty good major league talent on this team, but for whatever reason they never put it together come World Baseball Classic time. So
I'm just looking forward to the games played in the Far East where you get up at 5 a.m. There's a ball game on in the third inning. Beautiful.
It's beautiful, and then the Wazoo, what's it? What's it?
Vuvuzelas.
Yeah, I love that. I don't care what anybody says. I love that. Like, just it sounds like you're watching a game in Oakland. But it's the entire or the drumming all in sequencing or all at the same time. It's awesome.
Yep.
So, Agreed. All right. So by the time we do a show next week, there will be 1 day worth of pitchers and catchers reporting on Wednesday. I believe it is February 11th. Is that accurate?
We get to ruminate about somebody having a really good bullpen session.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. You're gonna see
best shape of their lives.
Best shape of their lives. You're gonna see 6 different angle pictures of the Tigers throwing underneath that new canopy last year. The covered, they'll put themselves there. So you're gonna see that. You're gonna also see my favorite is the hands on the hips, AJ Hinch looking over everybody picture. That's always a classic spring training cliche.
Yes.
And so, by the way, we got our baseball. I gotta tell the story.
I gotta run.
Okay.
Sorry, I got the other show.
Yeah.
Good talking to you guys. I'll see you next week.
All right.
See ya.
So Chris and I both got our Baseball Writers Association cards, right?
Nice.
And Chris got the wrong picture again, and we are like, it's not even him. It's a guy who doesn't even look like him, and we're Detroit Tiger minor league tracker.
Tracker?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's okay.
They didn't use that guy from the TV show Tracker, did they?
No.
Oh. I did an upgrade for you guys.
Yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm glad to be part of it.
That does stink, though. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Last question here. What are your guys' opinions on the spring training hats? I've not seen them. Are they out?
Are they the ones with the red bills?
Let's see here. Training caps.
Yeah, I haven't seen them.
They're the ones that have the red on them. Not a huge fan.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
No, it doesn't limit his access or anything. It just sucks. I mean, it's just you wish you had his right face.
It's respect.
Yeah, it's just respect kind of thing. Like, that's all. it's unfortunate. I mean, Chris,
here's the thing. It's still a testament to you guys and the work you've put in that you're holding those damn cards. It's impressive as hell. When you think about, the podcast 10 years ago to now, I mean, give me a break. It's amazing.
No, you're right. And that's why I don't get too mad about it at all. I'm not really necessarily, I feel bad for Chris because,
sure.
He works his ass off. Who's this Mexican Todd Jones? Well, I'm Cuban, but yeah, that's me. I'm Rogelio. But yeah, so okay, I saw the spring training hat on Reddit, so let me share it with everybody before we get out of here. But yeah, so let's see here. No, you're right, Uper. We've come a long way. I'm glad that I'm beyond grateful for that. It's just sometimes, that's all. Just a little bit of respect,
I hear you.
Yeah, give him the right picture, like give him the right dude. Okay, so here's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm okay with this. I like. It's weird to see that. It's weird to see the grapefruit. It is a little weird to see that there. The flower. I mean, I would never thought in a million years I would see that there. But I like the blue. I like the orange and the blue, and then I like the number font here for the 26.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
There you go.
I don't like the red. I get it. The red's weird. I don't like it.
Yeah.
You don't like it?
It just doesn't feel like Tigers to me. I don't like the red.
I wouldn't buy one myself.
That's red. Is that red to you? I feel like it's orange. Or maybe it's just because it could be.
I see it as red.
Okay. No, you know what? On my monitor, it's orange, so it could be So,
it's a little orange. Then I'd be a little more in maybe.
But yeah, the orange. No, it's you would like when you guys look it up afterwards. It looks more orange. So
okay.
But
fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, well, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening this evening. And yes, it is a grapefruit. Yes, I'm aware it is a grapefruit. It's C-Buck 3214 doesn't think I don't know what fruits are, but yeah, I understand. It's a grapefruit blossom. So it's a nice little touch, and definitely, yeah. Once you guys get off the screen, you guys will see it's orange.
Okay.
So next week we'll be talking spring training as it happens. I will be, maybe I should call myself Todd Jones or Jose Jones or something like maybe just with the mustache. Like, no, okay.
There's got to be a Spanish version of Todd, isn't there?
If there is, I don't know it because
I'll make that my personal mission to find it, or come up with a really good one like Todorico. Todorico, that'd be funny. But yeah, we'll be back next Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel, 9:00, and El Todd. Okay, yeah, we do that with El Todd Castillo. But myself, Chris, and Mike. I'll also check out the Days of War podcast. Chris is also on with Evan Petzold, the Free Press. And there's AJ Hinch. We have a special guest Tuesday coming up. Chris and I are recording. I can't tell you who it is, but somebody from the Tigers front office, and we'll be dropping that on Wednesday. So Stay tuned for that. You guys know who it is, right? I told you guys. No? Oh, I didn't tell you guys. Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you guys after we get off air. So stay close, everybody. Have a good night.